Yanakis, Mayakis, Mayalakis, Jonatatus.
Mister,
Buonasera, signor.
how are you?
I'm very good. A little bit stressed, but good.
No stress.
After this testing.
There's no stress. You should be stressed. Life's too short.
Okay. So we are live with you. You
We
should
live?
ask. Are we live now?
We are live. Okay.
Really?
Good everybody. Hello. How are you all? Or if there is anybody watching, there might be no one watching, just me and you.
Yeah, we are just two of us. I just asked to be just you and me for this live.
Could you imagine?
Speaking
Let's
together.
talk to each other for a little bit, be fine.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Take a
So-
look. Egle, Lithuania. Hello, beautiful people.
So listen, have you explained to everybody what this actually is? Because you haven't even explained to me what it is yet.
No.
What are we doing?
Ruta is. Hi, Johnny. Hi, Gita. Hello. This is our live. So, people, if you are connecting to this live, just give us some comments that you are everything okay with the sound, with the video, and I think we will start this amazing interview with Johnny OTHONA for 20 hours live.
I'll blow my hair for you today.
I see you. You make blow
I've
dries.
got volume just on the top here.
Mm,
Good night.
very nice. Nice.
Where are you? Are you in the Davos office now?
Yes, I'm in.
I love what's behind you. What's behind you?
Behind me is from different events, a lot of pictures. And we have also Johnny here, and Pedro and Kate.
Oh, yeah, the guy's checking in.
Huh?
It's not fair because you can see who's checking in and I can't see that. Oh,
No, I see the same as you. You
Oh,
see
no.
on the screen. Yeah, we have more than 20 people. I will be putting some questions or something like that. Hello, Arune. So you will see everything and we can answer to the questions.
Cool. Hello, everybody who's joining or who's not joining or who is joining, who's not joining. We don't know. This is going to be messy, isn't it? I can just tell. I can just feel it.
Egle, how nice to see you.
Nice to see you, darling.
Yes, yesterday night we had the interview with Agla, and she was telling that the biggest mentor in her life is Johnny. So she's sitting and waiting for you.
God bless you.
Nick, hello, beautiful people. Hello, Nick. Hello, Italy.
Nick, welcome. Oh, there's Nick from Cyprus.
And also Nick from Cyprus.
We met Nick from Cyprus. He's a distributor of Cyprus.
Yes, I know. He's a very good guy.
Have you really met him? Because he's special.
I know. He's very special. He's
very
like
special. Greek brother. You're my Lithuanian brother. He's my Greek brother.
Ah, okay.
Special.
Modestas, Gita, best regards, my friend. Johnny, warmest greetings. Okay.
Hi, sir. How are you?
So, hello, everyone. Hello, good evening. This is Lithuania again, and we have a special guest from London, Johnny OTHONA, ALLILON Education, Anna Salon, co-founder, together with Pedro Inchenko, the master of the master, guru of the guru, the best of the best, the Greekian brother from another mother. So let's talk about you.
You've been drinking, haven't you?
Huh?
You've been drinking?
Yeah, I am all the time drinking, Special tea.
Okay, where do we go? I'm going to let you just completely control me, okay? I'm not going to try and control this because every time I control you, it's an issue. So I'm just going to just go with the flow. Whatever you want, I will do. Okay?
I don't believe you. It's never happened. No. You know that. It's impossible. It's impossible. Impossible. Can you tell me one secret?
Can I tell you a secret?
Yeah, the biggest one.
The biggest secret?
Yep.
Maybe not the biggest secret, but I could tell you a secret.
Really?
Yeah, I'll tell you a secret. Let me just think of one. Because I haven't got a lot of secrets. Let me think of one.
Can I help you? Can I help you?
If you want to, yeah. Yeah, of course you can.
Take a look on the screen.
Take a look on the screen. You're such a...
My friend, what's happened with your hair? You're a hairdresser. What happened to your hair, huh?
He's
My
telling me-
friend.
he's telling me I can't see that. Do me one favor. Tell me the audience can't see that picture.
Which one?
The one you're showing me.
Send this picture to you?
Don't you dare. I've got it. I've got it next door. Let me show you.
Okay, bring it. Bring it.
I'll show you the real thing.
Oh, mamma mia.
You like the fashion style?
So tell me the secret. What's happened? What's happened with you?
My mum happened. So I don't know how old I was. I think I was about 7, and I was going to. This is my school photo. So every year in school, I'm sure it's the same in Lithuania, but in London, every year the children get their kind of yearly photo taken by the school, and my mum dressed me like that. And the worst thing about it is that's actually my mum's haircut.
Really?
I mean, look, to be honest, it's very similar. It's just upside down.
Oh.
That was a good little touch. You had that one saved, didn't you?
So what's happened with your hair? Tell me.
You happened. I was wait till I came to Lithuania, and this.
Ah, that's the secret. Okay.
Actually, the truth is, before I had children, I had a full head of hair. I remember years ago, me and Pedro, we used to cut each other's hair when we were practicing, and we used to practice in in my mum and dad's in a door, in between a door frame, of the living room. So I used to cut like that. Me and him used to cut like that. We used to cut each other's hair, and we both used to have a lot of hair. Me and Pedro, we used to have a lot of hair. And
Really?
then honestly, the truth is, it started really getting thinner when after I had my oldest son, and then all of a sudden it just started going. But I've thought about having hair put in. I've thought about it, but I don't think I will.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I will.
I see somebody smiling. Nick, Ruta, so excited. Feels like Johnny is in Lithuania.
I'm there. I'm literally. I'm right behind you. Turn around. I'm there.
Paulus, hello, boss.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Egle, so cute. Okay. So let's begin. How you started with the hair?
How did I start as a hairdresser?
Yeah.
Okay, so the truth is, this is the real story. The real story is when I was a little boy, my dad is a huge influence in my life. He's the person that I go to when maybe I'm feeling like I'm a bit lost. He's very good at grounding me, and so he's a very big influence in my life. Well, he has been up to this day, obviously. And when I was a boy, my dad I'm Greek in heritage, and my dad very much believes on you work for a living and you do your best, and working is important. So ever since I was this age, I had a Saturday job, literally every single Saturday. So I worked I finished Greek school, and then I'd work either in a shop selling vegetables, or I would go and sell clothes on a market stall, or in a butcher's. I'd go and cut meat in a butcher's.
Yeah.
So I had a different job every Saturday. And then I finally got a job in a barbershop. My uncle had a friend who had a barbershop in a place called Archway in London. And I went to the barbershop, and I went there on a Saturday, and I loved the energy. I loved the feeling of like guys talking about football and girls and, you know, like football screens and, you know, and the sound of, you know. And I remember I went there my first day and I started sweeping a little bit and cleaning. And then I actually sat on the barber chair next to where Peter, his name was. And I fell asleep because of the sound of, it was so relaxing. And I fell asleep. Anyway, that day he sacked me. So I worked there for one day. It's a true story. I worked there for one day. Then I went home and I was so embarrassed that I got the sack. So embarrassed. Didn't want to see my dad. And then the more I thought about it, I thought, do you know what? I'd love to do that as a job. So I wanted to be a barber. That's what I wanted to do. But my mum said, no, you're not going to be a barber. You're going to be a ladies' hairdresser because there's more money in colour. That's what she said to me. And I was like, okay, let me try. And that's kind of the direction I went in, because originally my mum wanted to be a hairdresser, but her father wouldn't let her. And listen to how weird this is, right? Listen to how freaky this is. This is the reason why my grandfather, would not let my mum become a hairdresser. Because in order for my mum to go to college, hairdressing college, she had to walk past like a cafe. I don't know if you know what a cafe is, like a place where men go and gamble. And have parties and gamble, play cards. And because my mum would have to walk past that place and the men would look at my mum, my grandfather wouldn't let her do hairdressing. So my mum always wanted to be a hairdresser, always. So when I said I wanted to be a barber, she was like, oh my God, fantastic. So my mum's probably been my biggest supporter in hairdressing. Like, she's behind me, like, you know. And she basically phoned a couple of different companies, and she said to them, you know, my son wants to be a hairdresser. Actually, it's quite a funny story. She rang a place called Selfridges. Do you know Selfridges in central London?
No.
In Oxford Street? Okay. So in Oxford Street, there's a big shop called Selfridges. It's like a huge department store, very expensive, very nice shop. And on the 5th floor, there was a Glenby salon. And my mum phoned that store and asked to speak to the manager. And she said to the manager, hi, my son is really upset, like really upset. He sent you a CV, nobody's responded. He really wants to be a hairdresser. You know, he's really, really sad. This is all lie. This is a complete lie. So the guy who was the manager of that shop said to my mum, send him for an interview. So I went for an interview. And at the same time, I went for another interview at a different company. And I ended up working in this particular salon, in this Regis salon, for 6 months. And I remember I didn't learn. I can honestly say, in 6 months, I didn't learn anything. Anything. Like the training, I feel sorry for them actually, because there was the person who was put in charge of my training, really nice woman, really good human being. Her name was Anna, but she would basically do training like once a month in the evening for 2 hours after she's just been fully booked. It was just crazy. It was just, the system was so wrong for education. There was no investment in me. So, like I said, I went for 2 interviews. I went for an interview with them, and I went for an interview with Vidal Sassoon. And then I got, both said, yes, you can come. So I left Glenby, and I went to Vidal Sassoon. And the irony of that is that in the end, Vidal Sassoon, not Vidal Sassoon, Glenby is owned by Regis, and Regis also bought Vidal Sassoon. It's quite an interesting little circle there.
When you met this sexy man, Pedro.
Oh, sexy one. Did Pedro just cheer? Hey, Ped. You can see the feeds on the side. I understand Where did I meet Pedro? So I met Pedro when I was about, I think it was 16 or 17. No, I wasn't. I think I was 17.
Is this the short story?
Yeah, this is the very short story. I met Pedro when I was either 17 or 18. I can't remember exactly, if I'm honest. But the short version, yes, Pedro, definitely.
Really? 16?
Okay, so this is me and Pedro in where was we? Oh, I think we were in one of the Greek islands on holiday, and this was our bedroom. Me and Ped were sharing a bedroom. I think we were about maybe 19, I think at that time. Yeah, about that. I think we were about 19. that's quite funny. You've prepared. You've actually prepared. Okay.
We had hair, you see. We had hair.
So yeah, me and Ped, we met when we were about 17 or 18, and it was quite interesting. I'm going to tell you a short story, not the long story. The short story is basically when we first met each other, we didn't really like each other, and
No.
yeah, we didn't. We really didn't. And the reason was Pedro thought I was very arrogant, very loud, very just arrogant. He thought I was arrogant. And I thought he was arrogant because he wouldn't speak. He was just like, kind of like didn't engage anybody, didn't have any. And what was interesting was we were just so different, me and Ped. It was crazy. We were so different. So I'd walk into a room and I would be like very loud and, just vocal. And then Pedro would walk into a room and just not speak to anybody. So we didn't like each other for a long time. What are you looking at?
I'm working. I have 2 monitors. I'm doing for you surprises, you see.
Is that what you're doing? Okay.
Okay.
So we didn't like each other, and then basically we, in a nutshell, I told the story. It's a good story. So basically, we didn't like each other, and we both thought we were very arrogant. I thought he was arrogant, and he thought I was arrogant, and we didn't speak. And one day I went up to McDonald's to buy some lunch because I liked healthy lunch. I was on holiday. I bet. I like to be fresh, man. What can I say? I like to be fresh.
Look, Pat, are you here? If you are listening for us, right now, can I send you the link to invite for the show, just to say hello for us? Huh?
So you have to do, you have to log into your Facebook account on your laptop, if you've got the laptop open, and then he will send you a message in your Facebook, and then you basically have to just touch the link and you'll come straight in. So let me go back to the story. So me and Ped, should I carry on the story, or is this?
Yeah. I am just working with the Ped. If you want, you have a special link. Just join us to say hello. And
he says he's naked.
That's very good.
That's what they want, Pedro. That's what they want. So we met in McDonald's. I was in the queue. I was getting some lunch, and Pedro was in the front of the queue. And I was looking at him from behind. I obviously didn't like him, didn't speak to him. And I could see he was just really sad. I could feel it. I could see it in his energy. And so I went to where he was, and I said to him, "Look, I'm getting some McDonald's as well. You okay?" And he was like, he obviously didn't. We never spoke before, and he was like, "Yeah." I went, "No, there's something wrong. Do you want to talk about it? Let me get some food as well. We'll sit down and talk." And then we started talking. And basically, the true story is that he was dating somebody, and she was being a problem of some kind. I can't remember the exact problem. But basically, as we were eating, I said to him, in a nutshell, "You need to go home tonight and you need to tell her it's finished. You're done. You're out, and that's it. So he did. And the next day, as from the next day, we literally was just best friends. He phoned me up the next day, or that weekend, and said to me, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm just at home." He's like, "Let me come and get you. We'll go shopping with my sister." I was like, "Okay." And we went, and honestly, it was crazy. It was just, you know, when you meet someone who, the only way to explain it is that I felt like I knew him for years.
Yeah.
I felt like there was no wall between us. It was complete transparency. We just, I don't know, we just really connected, and that honestly was the start of our what is now 20-something year relationship. It was like some best friends. You know what I mean? It's like there's Ped and another guy called Sod. Those two, I'd say, are the two main people, apart from my dad, that if I was in proper trouble, I would go to them. If there was something that maybe I couldn't, you know, I was finding hard. Or I'd go to my uncle if it was a problem that was too big for me, if that makes sense. Because that's, yeah, I have one uncle, a special uncle, who's the uncle I would go to if I have a big problem. But other than that, if Pedro and Sod would be the two people that I would go to if I was in trouble and needed help.
Why did you choose together with Pedro opening a salon, ALLILON?
Well, me and Ped had a really amazing career before opening Enna and ALLILON. We worked for Vidal Sassoon. I think I was there for 13 years. And we met some amazing people. I had a really successful career there. Lots of people there that I respected at the time. And there's still people there who I respect. And without going too deep into things, it was just time for a change. And you have, in life, sometimes you have to make certain decisions. You can either be somebody who just keeps complaining about everything all the time and talking about how hard life is and how everything's, you know, against you and this and that, or you make changes. And we didn't want to be in a situation where we were adding to negativity. So if there's something you can't fix and you've tried your best to fix it, then you have to make changes. You have to make changes. You can't live in frustration, or you have to be true to what you believe in. If you don't believe in something but you're doing it, the only person that really you're faking is yourself, and that's not who we are. So we decided to leave, and we decided to start our own company. Me and Ped, we wanted to. We were 17. We said one day we would. That's true. We did. That's true. We did. When we were 17, we did say that. But that being said, Ped, we said it, but if things never went the way they did, we probably wouldn't have. Or maybe we would have, but maybe later on, I don't know. For the guys who are watching, if anybody wants to ask any questions, you feel free to ask any questions. Have we even got people watching, or just me and you?
Yes, we are just two. We have three: me, you, and Ped.
So yeah, I think you have to make big changes sometimes in life, and that was definitely a turning point for me and Pedro. Actually, when we left, we opened a salon with another salon with some friends of ours, and two brothers, and it was only a matter of time, and we opened the salon. We did really well, and then we decided to change direction again because the partnership wasn't quite the way it should have been. So we changed direction again, and we've got onto this road. So Enna and ALLILON has been, hey Ola, The lady who's just tuned in, Ola, Alexandra, she is an amazing human. Amazing. Like, I can't even tell you how amazing she is. She works, she's our head of front of house, but also head of coaching. She's amazing. So thank you for watching. Well, I appreciate it, and thank you for everything you're doing during this period, because Ola's still working. She's the only one of all of our team who's actually still working. She's messaging, responding to customers, doing emails, things like that during this period.
What is the period right now in London? What is the situation in your business, Anna Salon, ALLILON Education?
So we officially closed, I think it was March the 14th was the last day. It was a bit, I finished a bit earlier because I wasn't well, neither was Ped. So me and Ped didn't go to work for 2 or 3 days before we actually physically closed. And Ola and the rest of the team were kind of championing and trying to keep going. Hey, Graham.
Hey, Graham.
And we've been closed since the 14th of May. And it's been interesting. I'm not going to lie. It's probably been one of the, I mean, obviously for everybody, it's been probably the hardest thing that they've had to do. But me and Ped had to have some really difficult conversations with people we care about, you know, when we were closing. And it was really a really difficult time. A really difficult time.
What was your first thoughts when you heard about this virus and that it's locked down?
The virus?
Yeah.
With the virus, for me, listen, life is what it is. If I get a virus and God forbid, something happens to me, then that's life. It's just, I don't live in fear. I don't like living in fear. For me, that's not a healthy way to live. You're not really living. The biggest prison anyone can be in is this one here. And I don't like being in here. So I don't like prisoning myself in my mind. So I'm not scared of the virus. I don't want to get into the politics behind the virus, because for me, it's not always, I'm not scared of the virus. It is what it is. I just hope and pray that, you know, people are safe. I think I don't know what you guys have got over there. We have the NHS. I just think the people that are working, helping people, is just absolutely incredible and commendable and just amazing and inspiring. And I think that it's at times like this, Gita, where you really see the beauty of humanity. Because it's at times like this where when humans are tested, is when you see people unite and people, the true spirit of human beings. You see kind of the connection and what people are willing to do. It's interesting. I don't see, obviously there's the negative side to what's happening. But at the same time, I think that there's some positives that have come out of all this situation. And I was talking to you about it the other day. I think one of the positives that's come out of this situation is that there is a lot of children right now who are eating dinner with mum and dad every day, which they couldn't do. There is a lot of children who are able to see their mum and dad and have some time and actually, connect. I've spoken to more people on the phone or through WhatsApp or whatever than I have ever done in my life. And I just think that I think everything's going to change. I don't think it'll ever be the same. And the reason why I think it won't ever be the same, there's lots of different reasons. But one of them is that I think the work culture will completely change around the world. I think companies around the world will streamline their businesses. I think that they won't be wasting money on renting spaces and locations and offices. I think there will be a lot more satellite type companies where people have satellite desks where they can work. And because a lot of the people that I know who aren't hairdressers are still working. A lot of them, but they're just working from home on their computers. So I can see a big shift in the corporate world. I can see a lot of people, a lot of companies getting rid of their offices and just renting whenever they need it. And that's going to make a big impact on the salons, because again, depending on what lens you look through, you can have customers who, because for us, for example, they work from home, they have to come all the way to the West End to get their hair done. They might end up getting their hair done locally because it just saves their day. Or, how I like to look at it, they might be like, actually, going and getting my hair done in the West End is an escape from my day. So I can't wait to get out and just get out of my house, because the negative to this new culture that's going to come in is that the balance between working from home and being at home will become very grey. And I think that's not always healthy. I think people thrive off human connection. They need it. They need to touch, feel, listen, communicate, share. So I don't know. I mean, I try not to be negative in my head. So I try not to give negative out when it comes to things like this. I think it's scary. I think economically it's very scary. From as a company, it's had a huge impact financially. But at the end of the day, we're going to ride the wave, baby. We'll make it happen. We don't. Me and Ped don't run on. If you kick us, we love it. We'll get back up. We'll kick you back. We won't fall. We just don't. Do it. It doesn't happen. So whatever happens, happens. We'll ride the wave.
You mean these two kickers, yes?
What are you doing, man?
I see you had much more freedom in your young age.
Well, I used to be quite slim, and I used to work out a lot, so I used to look much better than I do now. So I was young, I was hot, and then probably I was showing off a little bit at that time as well. I was young and a bit, whatever. So, so embarrassing. Can you get off that
now? No.
How do you feel about this situation? How's it going to affect your business? Because by affecting your business, it instantly affects my business.
We're very well. Doing much more better than before. Business is growing. Salons are opening. So it's very easy.
So over here, everything's closed, apart from supermarkets, and basically our government's following the same rules that everyone else is doing. I think what's interesting about this situation, Kita, is that there's two things that it's showing us. It's showing us that with one hand, globalization is very, very dangerous.
Yes.
And then it's showing us with another hand that globalization is actually amazing. And what I mean by that is this. With one hand, years ago, all the stock markets were independent. But now, with all the markets being kind of interjoined and connected in many different ways, when there's a problem in one place, it's like the body. If there's a problem with an organ, it's going to affect everything. Whereas before, if there was a problem, say, in a certain part of the world, it didn't necessarily have a domino effect. And I think that's one negative thing about globalization. But the positive, on the other hand, the positive side of globalization is the camaraderie, or the coming together of people and communities and cultures. Like, for example, all our friends in Italy. Italy was the first place to be affected in Europe. Yeah. And, we both have an amazing relationship with Davines. And there's a lot of friends out there who I know have struggled in this time. And, obviously my honest best wishes goes not just to our friends in Italy, but to everyone who has been affected by this thing. Luckily, I haven't been affected personally. My family is safe. My work colleagues are safe. So I'm quite lucky and I'm very privileged. But for anybody out there who might be watching who has been affected, just know that everybody else wishes you nothing but good. And it's this whole this whole virus discussion is quite a complex discussion to have, maybe on this kind of forum. But I just, all I want is for people to learn from this experience.
What are you learning right now yourself?
About what am I learning? What am I learning about myself?
Yeah. What are you learning right now from your point of view from all this situation?
Well, I'm trying to avoid looking at social media too much because there's a lot of toxic conspiracies and theories, and there's lots of different things being thrown into the mix. And some of them may be true, some of them may not be true. But at the end of the day, there's nothing you can do. All you can do is just look after your communities and your local people and try and be as best you can as a human being. Because, you know, you have to, what I've learned about me is I've learned that I enjoy being by myself. I actually enjoy just silence. I miss my kids. I miss my kids, obviously, because they're not with me. But I know they're safe, and I try and go and see them whenever I can. I haven't really connected with them recently because I had a bit of a chest thing. So just in case, I didn't go and see them. So I miss them like a lot. But I've learned about me that I actually like being by myself. I love the peace. I love being in my own home where everything is exactly how I like it to be. All the cups are facing the right way. There's no finger marks on plug sockets or light switches. You know, my OCD is like on point right now. But I connect all day, like every day. What we do, me and Pedro, is we have a team in London in our salon, which has about 52 people in there. And when you've got that many people who work with you, it's really hard to try not to lose the connection, because at these kind of times, some people kind of are absolutely fine. They thrive. They're not affected. But then there's other people who really get affected by things like this. And everybody, I think, goes up and down and has different good days and bad days. I had a bad day 2 days ago. But as long as you keep the connection going, it's really important. So for anybody who's watching who owns a salon, I'll tell you one of the systems that we've put into place to try and help this situation. So myself and Pedro, we have our team of directors, and we've split the directors. So I have some and Pedro has some. Yeah. And our job, mine and Pedro's job, is to make sure that our directors are okay. And then our directors' jobs are, they've all been given 5 or 6 people each to connect with. So basically, it's not about talking about business or what the company's doing. It's just about making sure we look after people's mental health and how they're feeling. So apart from that, I keep my mind really busy. So I've made a list of all of our team, and every day I ring 2 or 3 people every day on my list, and I usually ring them while I'm cooking myself dinner. I'll just talk to them and just see how they are. And if somebody needs a bit of a help, I just try and pull them out. Or if somebody's really good and I can feel their energy and everything's good, I'll move on to the next person and make sure the next person's okay. Or the person I just spoke to, I'll get them to kind of give that person a call. I think she's feeling a bit low, just to see how she is. So I think for those of you out there who own salons, my advice to you is really right now, the most important thing for your business is your people, because your people is your business. So my advice to you is spend as much time as you can trying to connect with everybody. You don't have to necessarily do anything. You just have to just be present and just make sure that they're okay. And if they are having a crap day or a low day, you might be having a low day, because, you know, even if you're having a low day, you have to pretend that you're not having a low day to them, which can be difficult sometimes, but it's good.
Loving the pictures for Graham, so we will bring some pictures back. Gianluca, hi, ciao, buonasera, Italy.
He's a good boy, Gianluca. I like Gianluca.
Pedro, you are
usually a lot less serious. Bring back
And the real Gita and Johnny. Okay, how much? How much? You know what? I have one thing for you. Tell us a story about each other. Okay, we will tell, but I want you to tell one thing. Are you ready?
Okay, put some clothes on.
Do you see this one?
Where is your boss?
What was your first meeting with Lithuania, with us?
You want me to tell the story?
Yeah, I wanted. Because it's shame for me. Sorry, Ped. Sorry, but I like that story. Full story, please. Full.
So we arrive in Lithuania. It's me and Pedro and Madeline. And we arrive and we're getting the suitcases. And I'm waiting for an extra suitcase that I had for the show clothes and things like that. So Ped and Mad have gone outside to, and Gita was picking us up, or the distributor from Davines, Lithuania, who we didn't know yet, was picking us up. So the guys went out. I've come out with my suitcases. Hello, blah, blah. And what was crazy about it was that it was actually my birthday that day when we came. And we got to the car and you were just, I couldn't understand you. And all of a sudden, he's like, wait, don't get in the car, don't get in the car. And it was raining. And I'm thinking, what's this guy doing? You went and you basically got a cake and you started singing me happy birthday in the middle of a car park. Which looking back was very, very sweet. But at the time I was getting rained on. I was like, fucking just get me in this car. And you sang me happy birthday in the car park in the middle of Lithuania airport, which was really sweet. And then we got in the car and then we started heading to the hotel. And as we were heading towards the hotel, Madeline wanted to buy something from the petrol station. She wanted some cigarettes, basically. So Kitas pulls into the petrol station. Now, I'm in the front, Kitas is in the front, Pedro's in the back, and Madeline's in the back. Anyway, we're in the car. I didn't really notice, but Pedro didn't say anything. He wasn't speaking. So we get to the petrol station. Kitas goes with Madeline, because obviously the language barrier. So me and Pedro are in the car. So I start going, that was really sweet, really sweet getting the cake. It was really nice to have to do that. And Ped wasn't speaking. So I was like, what's wrong with you? What's the matter? Are you okay? He said, no. I said, what's the matter? So when Ped and Madeline came out, Gitas was like, hello, where's your boss? So Ped was like, so I was Pedro's boss. So the whole trip. Okay, the boss has just said. I didn't realise that me and Ped were business partners and best friends. So he just thought I was the boss of ALLILON and owned the company. It was so funny. Ped was so pissed off.
My boss.
When Gitas came back in the car, I was pissing myself. Oh, it was brilliant, man. It was absolutely priceless. It was priceless.
I remember when I asked something, Ped, some question, and Ped was sitting, and he said, "Go to your boss."
But I'll tell you what, that was a great experience. And I'll be honest with you, Gita, you've been one of our biggest champions, one of our biggest supporters. I think our company has grown immensely because of Davines Lithuania, and I like to think Davines Lithuania has also grown hugely because of, or alongside ALLILON. You've been amazing. You've been one of the distributors. There's you, and there's one more really important one. There's certain distributors within the Darwinist community who've been amazing in regards to our company, and you've been one of them. For about, we've been working together, 4 or 5 years?
It should be 4. I think 4.
Yeah. I had hair when I met you. This happened when I met you. Before,
do you remember the gun story?
Yes, I bloody remember the gun. It was the same day from the airport. It was the same day from the airport.
Yes.
We're still driving home. I'm talking to Gitas about whatever, life in Lithuania. And then Gitas starts talking about the fact that he goes hunting with his dad. Right? Next thing I know, so I'm sitting in the chair, in the car like this, and Gitas is sitting here, and Gitas just leaned over and put his hand between my legs. I'm like, what's he doing? He pulls out a gun. He pulled a gun out from under my crutch. Loaded gun from under my crutch. What the fuck? And he was like, hold it. I'm not holding that. I don't know where that's been. I don't know who's touched that. I don't know what you use that for. He had a loaded gun under his car seat. I mean, it shows you he's gangster. You're gangster. You're Lithuania gangster.
No, it was just an invitation, you know. We're usually meeting people with a gun, with who is your boss.
And a cake.
And the
cake and a gun.
Yes. This is very traditional Lithuanian.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Being how has ALLILON affected your business?
Very bad.
Because there are other distributors watching this now.
Very bad. A lot of people are crying after education. They are becoming stronger. They are asking only for Johnny, for Pedro, for Kate, for Madeline, for Jonathan, for Graham. So this is very bad because they're missing you, and this is big impact for our business.
What has been the effect on your, like, what has the partnership actually brung you? Why have you kept the relationship going so many years?
I think it's when you start speaking from your heart, and when you find this connection, and especially when you have a very good mood together, some jokes, guns, who's your boss, this relations is floating to your clients, and all clients, they are feeling this. So I think this is the most important, to be very open to each other. This is like I think this is the success, when you are open, so that people are opening to you too. And education is, we understand that education for, 3 or 4 years ago, one of the key points should be education. And then we are with ALLILON for 4 years.
So if you were going to give another distributor your advice or your opinion, because Gitam, I've told you this before, personally, when we're having dinner, there's a lot of distributors out there who put product before education, and there's very few distributors who put education to support the product. It's always the other way around. You do that, which is what a lot of the successful distributors that I've met and that I've worked with, this is their mentality. Education first, the product will come, because everyone needs product. But what they really need is education to be able to be better at their job, better at their craft, to be good at what they do. So,
I maybe would change the education to the people, to your team. When you put your team in front and everything is in back, so then is the success. If you have a very good, strong team, which is motivated, which is inspired, and they can inspire other people. So this is the success, because people always want to be with the successful people. They want to attract each other. But if you put product in front of that, so I don't think it's good.
I agree with you. Because you're actually, we talk about your sales. Don't get all shy on me now. When we talk about your success as a distributor, you're talking about the whole of Europe. Where do you sit on that scale? You get uncomfortable.
No, this is my show, not Johnny's show. Why are you asking me questions, huh? I don't understand. This is something opposite.
You have to answer the question, otherwise I'm not going to answer any questions. Because sometimes, you know, one thing I've learned, Gita, one thing we've learned as a company is we're always trying to push forward and grow. Yeah. And we very rarely celebrate our success because we want to keep moving. And one thing we've learned as a company is actually sometimes to stop and celebrate what it is that you've achieved up to now. So that's what I'm asking you to do. I'm asking you to share with us where you are success-wise.
A short beginning before that. I think that this success belongs to many years, because in this October for our company should be 18 years. So it means I am working with the Davinas more than 17 years. So with one brand, no other brands, only Heck. So I am not telling this is the good example to have one brand, but I mean, it took us a very long time just to prove that we are here on the market, and what we do, we believe, we trust, and we are not changing, you know, because you can have one brand after 2 or 3 or 5 years, you can change in something. No, so we are big, we feel big loyalty for Davinas. And during those many years, we understand ways, how to say, how to work with this product in the best way. And the team was changing, we starting growing, and now yes, we are in Europe by population, and by market share we are number 3 in all the Europe.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well done. You deserve it. You're right, you do have an amazing team. You've surrounded yourself with some very, very good people. And I think that's been mine and Ped's success as well. We've got a very, very loyal, trustworthy, supportive family. So you're right, your success is your people. Your success is your people. So come on then, quick fire round.
Driving in the snow, pitch black with no lights. Graham wants one more story. This is the story night.
That was a scary night. That wasn't a story night, that was a scary night.
Really?
I'm gonna let you ask me 5 questions really quickly. First response. All right, I'm gonna do it to you first.
5 questions for me?
I'm gonna ask you 5 questions.
Okay.
And you've got a first response.
Okay, can I just check all the comments right now and then 5 questions, okay?
Okay.
Yes, our boss is very cool. Thank you, Agle. Mwah.
How much do you pay, Agle? You pay a lot of money, don't you? You must do. You must do. I have to say that.
Pedro likes guns. Congratulations. Thank you, Graham. We are missing you so much. Alexandra. Jovita, I can't wait to see you again.
She's talking to you, not me.
Okay, 5 questions. I'm ready.
First answer that comes to your head. You don't have to think.
Okay.
Okay?
Long.
Here we go. Favorite food?
Pizza.
Oh my God, how long did you take to answer that? Seriously?
I need to translate in my head and to find translation. I'm not the Englandman. I'm Lithuanian. Baltic state.
Okay, ready?
Right.
Favorite car?
Huh?
Maybe this isn't going to work.
I told you you need to wear. No, I didn't hear. Can you repeat?
Favorite car?
Porsche.
Best position?
Back. I just know a few words. That's why. Okay, number 3. Let's go.
That's all you got in your life, isn't it? I only have 3 questions. That's all I wanted. I just wanted to get you on that one. It's fine.
Whew. Okay, I have questions to you. Are you ready? Best position?
Best position.
You're very fast.
There's so many. There's so many good ones. I'm multitasking. I'm creative.
Okay.
I never stick with just one, bro.
I have a question now for you.
Okay.
Why do you think you are? Because we are speaking about you tonight, about ALLILON, about ALLILON. Why do you think you are successful?
Because of our people. And because of our view on the industry.
Yeah.
Because of our passion. I believe that every single ALLILON teacher you will ever meet, despite how they might be feeling when it comes to doing their job, they always give 100% and they always try and do it from a genuine place. It's not a job. It's not a career. It's a purpose. And I think that's been our success. I think me and Pedro as two people, I think we have an amazing chemistry. And I think that rubs off on our team and on our relationships with other people. There's days when I can't stand you. I want to kill you. And there's days when, there's days when me and you were like that. And there's days when me and you are like that. And there's probably days with other people who, where basically what I'm saying is, because there's me and Pedro, we're able to constantly do this and support each other at different stages.
Yeah.
And that also goes with our relationships with other people. So if there is a relationship maybe that's a bit fragile, I'll step in, or Pedro step in, or just to keep harmony. I think our biggest success, my biggest success, is my relationship with Ped. And because of my relationship with Ped, and I like to think obviously it goes from on his way as well, because we have this amazing, just genuine friendship, it affects so many people. And that's what's been our biggest strength. I couldn't have got to where we are now without Ed. And I like to think he would say the same thing. So when all's said and done, I think mine and Ped's relationship is what's made our company so strong. The work, the craftsmanship, the passion for the industry, the relationship with the staff, all these things, money, all these things are important. But if me and Ped are not right, the company isn't right.
What are your weaknesses, Johnny?
As a human, me, personally, I've got loads, mate. I am sometimes impatient. I find it very hard to not judge people by the way I look at how life should be led. I can be very stubborn. I can be unreasonable. I can be intense.
Yeah.
I can be too driven. I can sometimes, my biggest weakness, I think, is I'm either all in or all out. There's no middle for me. So if I'm doing something, I'm going to give it 150%, even if it kills me. But once I feel like whatever it is no good for me, then I'm very, very good at going, done. So I can be a bit like that. I think another weakness I have is I'm too compassionate. I try too hard to make everybody else happy. And one lesson that I've learned in the past 2-3 years, probably the biggest lesson I've learned, is that if you're always trying to make everybody else happy, but you're not happy, you can never be the best version of you for other people. So that was a massive weakness for me. And I've learned now. I did a really good experiment. I'll tell you about it, and you should try it. It's really interesting. I did a challenge to myself for 2 weeks. I didn't tell anybody I was doing it. Week 1 was a no week, which means that every single situation I was in, the answer was always no. anything anybody asked me, the answer was no. And then the following week, no matter what, the answer was yes. And I wanted to understand how powerful words can be when you say them. And what I learned was, on the week that was no, it was a very destructive week. I hurt a lot of people. I affected my company. I remember there was one situation where me and Ped was like, we were talking about something. And I was like, no, we're not doing it. He's like, what do you mean we're not doing it? This is why. And I'm like, we're just not doing it. And he's like, well, why? I don't understand. We're not doing it. I don't want to do it. We're not doing it. I remember me and Ped was just like, you know, what's wrong with you? Da-da-da-da. And then my children, the same thing that week. It was like, Dad, no, no, no. And it was like everybody. And that week was a really hard week. Whereas the following week, when I had a yes week, it was like, Ped, remember that discussion we had last week about that thing? I think we should definitely do it now. Yeah, I think we should do it. We should do it. And he was like, you know. And then my kids, boys, last week, sorry about last week, Daddy was a bit, but yes, we should do that thing. Yes, we should do it. And the yes week was super productive, opened up loads of doors, everybody around me was happy. Everybody around me was starting to kind of become productive and positive. It was amazing. It was amazing. So I do lots of weird things like that, like tests, to try and understand how my brain works. So that's a really good challenge. You do it maybe for a day or 2 days. The only problem with this task was, on the week that was the no week, I did some things that I shouldn't have done, and I regret it. And on the week when it was the yes week, I did some things I shouldn't have done, and I regret it. So it depends how you look at it. But those are some of my weaknesses. Another weakness is I'm very bad with eating. I have really bad eating habits. I eat crap all the time. I don't look after my body. I don't work out enough. I can be quite selfish. I like being by myself. So I can be quite isolated. I like being isolated.
Yeah.
Which isn't always a good thing. What else? I don't know. What else do I not like about me?
What are your strongest points? Where you are the strongest?
A lot of my weaknesses are also my strengths, because I can be stubborn when I know, or when I think that this is the direction something needs to go in. That stubbornness pushes me into that direction, and the outcome is always good.
Yeah.
The fact that I'm not in or not out, that's a good thing, I think, because sometimes people know where they stand with me. In that case, I think the intensity that I work out is also good, because it can be very stimulating, it can be very motivational, it can be very inspiring. I think basically what I would say is all my strengths and all my weaknesses are always the same, because in the end of the day, what we're always trying to aim for is that balance, isn't it? You can be too intense, not intense enough. You can be too arrogant, not arrogant enough. You could be too humble, not humble enough. You could, it's just like, it's a balance, isn't it? So I try not to overthink. That's one thing that I've learned that I used to do a lot. I used to really, really overthink things and just live in here all the time. And it's quite a destructive place to be, your mind. It can be very dangerous. It can be very unhealthy. So I've tried to not overthink and make decisions much quicker, because I'm a Libra. So because I'm a Libra, we're always doing this bloody thing, aren't we? So I find making decisions very difficult. So I've tried recently to make decisions much quicker. Even if there's one decision, just make a decision, commit to something. Another weakness I think I would say is that I find it very hard to not be controlling.
Not be controlling.
Yeah. I always feel like I have to try and be in control, because it gives me safety, makes me feel safe. If I'm in control of something, I know it's going to be okay, because I got it.
Yeah.
When I'm not in control of something, I find it very hard. I'm getting much better at it over the years. I've got much better at it. But what I do now, which is maybe not healthy, but it's something that I do, is when I know I can't control it, I just let it go completely. I'm just like that, which is not always good. It's not always good. I think, you know what I said to you about my intensity?
Yeah.
My intensity can be very overpowering for people. It can be very, very productive and very anti-productive. It's just about getting that balance. So you've opened the door now, which is complicated.
What do you think? What the key factors should be for the successful hairdresser? Because you are traveling around the world in many countries. You have seen a lot of hairdressers.
The biggest advice I'd give a hairdresser would be to. I mean, for me, passion is always up front, in front of everything. I think relationships are really important. I think be true to yourself, and there is going to be days where hairdressing isn't your life, and you don't want to. You know, people often when people meet me or meet the team, we're driven by hairdressing. We're passionate about hairdressing, but there's days when I don't want to be a hairdresser. There's days when I'm just like, this is just too much, because there's a lot of in our industry. There's a lot of politics is a good word to use, and I don't play those games. I don't like them. So I would say that there is hairdressers out there who are very successful, who are able to be successful because they understand how to play the game. If you're not like that, which I'm not like that, and Ped's not like that, then you have to let this do the talking for you. You have to let your hands do the talking for you. You have to invest in your hands so that way you don't have to speak. You can just cut or color, and then people will respect you because you're good at what you do. My advice to hairdressers would be to practice and practice and practice. My advice to hairdressers would be stop being scared to fail, because I've failed so much in my journey, and every single time I come out stronger. You know, every single time I come out. The reason why we've been successful with hairdressers around the world is that when we talk to them, we look in their eyes and we connect, and we know what we're saying we mean. We're not just saying it. And people don't always like to hear the truth. It can be very challenging. So, you know, what is the truth? Is the truth your opinion? Could be. It's really interesting. I don't know. For me, I'm just privileged and lucky to have found a craft that I love. And there's lots of people that I know who make a lot of money doing something they hate. For me, that's not stimulating. So that's what I would say.
Why did you choose Davines?
Davines and us was a very, very good mutual synergy. We connected instantly. It was crazy, actually, and it wasn't necessarily anything to do with product or business. It was to do with relationships. David and Paolo are two people that me and Ped highly respect, but there's lots of people in Davines who I really respect. There's certain key people who, for me, are really important, and not because of what they bring to the table, but because of things they've done in the past to show me and Ped that they care about our company and care about me and Ped. And for me, when you show, my dad, Gitas, he used to say to me when I was a boy, he used to say to me, don't listen to what people are saying, think about why they're saying it. That's what he used to say to me. And he's 100% right. And when you actually listen to certain people, you can really see who they really are. And there's been certain people in Davines who've really helped me and Ped over the years. So our relationship isn't about product. It's not about business. It's about the fact that I can pick this up now and talk to that person now about something. And with other companies, you can't do that. So we wouldn't be the success that we are if it wasn't for Davines, Davines' network, all of the people like yourself within the Davines network. You know, it's an amazing company that brings people together because we all have this common camaraderie to do with sustainability, to do with the humanity and all these type of things. And I think that's the type of community that we like to be in. So there's loads of amazing product companies, but we have really, really strong relationships with certain people who keep us together.
What do you think? What is our future now?
Mine and yours? Well, you're going to hang up in a minute, and I'm going to hang up in a minute, and then I'm going to make my dinner, and you make yours for dinner. You tell me.
You're asking me?
Yeah.
Ah.
See, told you.
Okay.
I mean, what's my vision? My vision is that with Lithuania especially, there's a few countries in Europe that for me have really supported ALLILON over the past however many years. And the future for me looks like when we come back out of this craziness, it's our job to support these people, and it's these people's job to support us, for us all to stabilize. I believe that the future for us, as in me and you and Ped, I think is huge. I think Lithuania is a great market. I think hairdressers are really passionate over there. I think you've got some amazing people working for you and with you. I love teaching Lithuanian hairdressers. I think they're very passionate people. I would like to, I think personally, what Lithuania really needs and what we haven't quite done yet is a selection of small seminars, a week of seminars of 20 people, boom, 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 20 people a day, just really intense. Because when you do big shows, it's amazing because you can connect to lots of people.
Yeah.
But if you take those 100 people and you break them up into little groups, and then they're able to ask questions and interact, because when they're on the big stage, no one asks questions. It's you lose a little bit of that connection. Whereas if you take those 300 people and you put them into groups, what are you doing now? Oh my God.
I'm testing you. I think
the future, what we should do when all this craziness is over, the show that you were going to do, obviously you've put on hold. So I think what you should do is do a series of small seminars, which are very personal and intimate. And the people that come are really able to connect with us. That's what I think we should be doing next year, or maybe even towards the end of this year. Everybody who potentially was going to be part of the show, for all the different moving pieces that have happened, I think if you streamline it and make it much smaller and more personal and do it for longer, so you could do 2 weeks of 20 people, for example, and I could do a week with Pedro and a team, and then I could do a week with a team, and Pedro could do a week with the team. You know, that's what I see coming out of this craziness. That was my vision for Lithuania, and I also think we've got things planned for Cyprus, and potentially I think we should do the same thing in Cyprus, Poland. I think in Europe, I don't know. This is for an education company. This is a really scary time. You know, everything up to the end of the year is just loads of things have been cancelled, and loads of things are just on hold.
Yeah.
You know, and I think from our point of view as a business, we need to be creative in how we change and adapt to be able to still generate and inspire and connect with people everywhere, because this thing that's happening is just taking the legs out of education.
What do you think about, you mentioned it on Instagram stories, irreplaceable, sorry. My English is perfect.
Yeah. What do I mean by it? Do you mean?
Yeah.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, there's a massive fear at the moment that everyone's got, especially in the color world, about customers coloring their hair or cutting their own hair at home and this and that. And I just think to myself, why are you worried for? Like, why are you worried? It's like, if someone colors their hair and they make a mess of it, perfect. You've got someone who's going to come to you to fix it. If somebody colors their hair one time and they like it, but they still come to get their hair cut because they can't cut their own hair, or they're having their hair cut, they're probably going to have the color anyway. So you may not get them back in that first experience. They may come back after the second one. All I'm saying is stop thriving off fear, because people now on social media, it's crazy, it's crazy. And it can be really dangerous because people just send out negativity and fear. And there's enough of that happening. You don't need to add to that. So my advice to every hairdresser is remember one thing. You are irreplaceable. You cannot be replaced by a computer, by a car, by anything. You're irreplaceable. So stop being scared. Just be you, and trust me, everything will find its way. Because if you're constantly in your head worried about stuff, as soon as you do have that human connection, you're bringing negativity into that relationship, which will just be unhealthy. It's just, I just don't want to be part of the fear mongering that's out there. So my advice to every hairdresser is to understand that you are irreplaceable. Full stop. That's it.
Do you know that I love you?
No.
What do you love mostly in your life?
My children. So this is another thing, right? Before, I used to hate uncomfortable silences.
Yeah.
And Pedro used to tease me about it because I couldn't sit quiet. If there was quiet, I couldn't enjoy it. I used to feel like I had to say something or feel that noise. And I'm teaching myself to not have to speak unless I have to.
I am very grateful in my entire life meeting such amazing people, especially in Davina's world. I mean, in this community, how many Paolo, Davide, all community around the world. If when you are coming, for example, last time in Iceland, it was amazing. It was amazing. So I think this time we should go through our values and be conscious in our mind. You know, not grab everything what you see on the media. Especially, I feel for myself. You know, when you are not, when you're spending one day with a family, with the children, without no social media and no internet. I tested last weekend. You are becoming fresh. I mean, you are just fresh in your mind and free. So, guys, we have more than 1.5 hours on the live with a special guest, Johnny OTHONA. If you have any question, just text us in comment, and we will answer. And I think we are waiting also for the Greta from our team. She's a very nice, giving some poems. Poem in English.
Poems, yeah.
Poems. I would like if she can text something in English, it would be perfect. If you have any question for Johnny, so just text
People
it.
won't ask questions. In my experience, people don't ask questions. People just
Really?
yeah. We've been doing loads of different lives and interviews and things like that. And one thing I've learned is people, they just want to listen. And
Why? Why do you think they are not asking questions?
I think people. I think when you're enjoying something, you don't have to search for anything. It's only when you're bored you have to search for something. So if someone's enjoying something, they're actually listening to what you're saying.
What will be your first thing when the lockdown will be down? I mean, finished.
The first thing I'm going to do is try and connect with all my team. That's the first thing I'm going to try and do. As in going back to work, you mean, or as in when
In
they
general.
leave your house?
Yeah.
I'm going to go and get my kids and bring them here.
Your children.
And bring them here. And make some food together, spend some time together, and just reconnect properly. That's been the hardest challenge for me during this situation, during this lockdown. Yeah.
So Greta is not putting me the poem. Okay. Agle, it's so nice just to listen to you. Dalbe pressure to think of a good question. Why do you think people are thinking about good question?
Say that again, buddy.
Why do you think people are thinking about good question? That I think that most of the people they're thinking it will be stupid question. I'm not good. Even this life, you know, when I started thinking about this life with you, my first thought was I am not good in English, in my English language, but it doesn't matter. I mean, I want to talk with you. I want to be live. I want to listen to you. Why?
I don't think some. For me, Gitasmo, I'm really in a really healthy space in my head, like really healthy. I can't even tell you. I see things so much clearer now to maybe a year and a half ago, where everything in my mind was very not the best. So I'm enjoying this moment. Johan said something really inspirational 2 days ago, which is just for me was gold dust. He said, I was doing him a live interview, and Johan said, tell me another time in your career in the last 20 years when you were able to take 3 months off to do what? To just stop. The only other time you're going to be able to do that is when you retire when you're in your 70s.
Yeah.
So just enjoy it. And when he said that, I was like, I have never thought about it like that. For me, it's just been about just trying to keep a nice mental balance. Every day I do something physical. Every day I do something which keeps my mind stimulated. I make something, I build something, I fix something. You know, I connect with my team. I make sure that everyone's okay. But when he said that, I was like, wow, that's fantastic. That's such a fresh way of looking at it. I've got 3 months holiday where I can, okay, I'm not allowed to go out of the house. Okay, that's the only negative. But I've got no pressure. I've got no demand. I've got no need. I don't have to do anything. The only thing I have to do is make sure that me and Pedro can borrow enough money to get us through. Other than that, that's the only pressure I have right now. That and making sure my team and my family are all safe, not just physically, but psychologically, which is, for me, more important than the physical side of it.
Thank you so much, Johnny, for such inspirational and open talk.
It's a pleasure to just have a nice conversation. You guys have entertained me for, how long have we been live for? An hour and 26 minutes. We've just.
What's the Dalba is asking? What's the first business you will spend money on?
First business? Well, I'm definitely going to go and have like a nice meal, something really nice to eat. Because I think I'm a good cook, but it's different when someone else cooks for you. So I'm gonna go and get my children and maybe take them somewhere to eat, somewhere nice to eat. Plus, it just helps re-stimulate the market a little bit, because every business is suffering. So
where do you get inspiration and power? Agla is asking.
Where do I get inspirational? Be careful because you keep hitting your microphone. On your
Huh?
You keep hitting the microphone.
Where do you get your inspiration and power, Mr. Johnny? Huh? Do you hear me? Jonatatus. Is it better now?
Yeah. What it is, it keeps hitting your beard and your collar. So it keeps going boom, boom. You can't hear it, but we can. Where do I get my inspiration and power? I don't have power and I don't have inspiration. I'm just me. Where do I get inspiration and power? Okay. So where would I go? Where would I go to find inspiration or to find power? I think to find power, I think I would go to my dad. He's really good at he's a very simple man. So he doesn't overcomplicate things. So I'd definitely go to my dad for power. For inspiration, I'd probably go to my children because their brains are just amazing. Like they're crazy. Like they have no walls, no boundaries. They have no limits. So my children, I think I find younger minds inspirational. I coach a football team. And when I coach the boys, it's different now because they're starting teenagers now. So they've got a little bit of an attitude now. So it's getting a little bit more challenging. But I find them really inspirational because it's just the energy they bring to something is just like fire. They come up. You know, I love that. I find that very, that's where I pull from. So I hope that answers your question.
We have a question from Graham. What's your next building project?
Well, I need to do my driveway, but I'm not sure if it's too big for me. Because when we come back, I'm going to need to be really focused on the business. So I'll probably, the next project for my home is my driveway. So I've got to start saving some money. But my internal project, I've got to paint three rooms. Well, two or three walls in those rooms, but I can't find the passion to do it. But you know what I am going to do, which I've made a promise to myself, and Sam was a massive inspiration for this. I bought a bike.
Yeah.
And I'm going to start riding every single night for 1 hour on my bike. Because I need to lose. I've put on so much weight. It's ridiculous. So that's my project.
Take a look. Finally, we have Greta. She's sending to us. Johnny, what you do? All of the hairdressers are crazy for you.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Okay. It's very, I like the rhyme. It's nice. Very sweet.
Thank you, guys. Michaela, Aglia. How do you spend your holidays?
How do I spend my holidays? I don't have holidays, unfortunately. I haven't had a holiday for 3 years. 2 years. Just because I've been focused on the house. Actually, no, I'm lying. I went to Cyprus last two years ago.
Last year?
2 years ago.
In 2019?
Yeah. No, last year I was in the house. I was working on the house. I didn't go home.
Okay.
I was working on the house. I was trying to get myself stable.
I see a lot of hearts, kisses. Everyone loves Johnny as always.
Let's say thank you to everybody for joining in. I think we've taken up enough of everybody's time. I think
you have good sleeps, Johnny.
Do I have good sleep? That's Michaela. Now I have much better sleep. But yeah, I sleep all right. Definitely better than I used to. Definitely. But yeah. I'm sleeping because I'm not traveling so much now. It's much better because my body clock is much more consistent. Whereas before, it was always a challenge because of the fact that I'm always changing my time zones every week, which which is just physically, it's crazy. He suffers from insomnia. It's true, I do. But I think part of that also goes back to what I was saying about overthinking too much. So I'm definitely sleeping much better, especially right now. Right now, I just lay on the sofa, and wake up, and then fall asleep and wake up, and it's really nice. It's really relaxing.
Okay, guys. So we had a long life with Johnny, and if you
Thank you, guys.
For this meditation,
Thank you for inviting me, Kitas.
thank
I
you.
appreciate your time. And where can we share this live, Gita?
It will be on the Facebook for Davinas Lithuania all the time. We will leave all our lives there.
Thank you, Gitas. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. We hope you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. I hope we've tried to inspire you a little bit. And be safe, stay safe, look after your families and everybody. And I'll see you at the end of this craziness. Okay, Gita, thank you.
Thank you. Just I want to share. Miss you. Yes. Thank you, Pedro. I love you too. Nick, Hearts, Jovita. Thank you very much. Agla, Michela, love you. Beatrice, love you. Ruta, Renata, thank you. Graham, thank you. Get out. Stay safe. Stay safe, everyone. Just be human. I think in the end of this conversation, Aruna, thank you. Let's keep more open to each other. This is the time for us to be without masks, being very simple and connected. That's what we do here now. I think so.
What are you doing?
I'm enjoying this silence. I like the silence. I will come back home calm, chill. It's very interesting. I miss you, Johnny. I miss you so much. Everyone from ALLILON and Anna. I hope to see you very soon.
For anybody who's still watching, at 9 o'clock tonight, UK time, I'll be doing something similar with Davinas North America on Davinas Color on Instagram, Davinas Color. I don't know what they're going to ask me. I don't know what we're going to discuss. But if you want to watch and whatever, you're more than welcome to join us. 9 o'clock UK time, which is 4 o'clock American time. Are you finished with me? Can I go on to dinner now?
No.
Oh, what are you going to do? Love you, and I'll see you later. Thank you.
Love you, everyone. Thank you. Good night.
Bye, guys. Thank you.